Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first game of the week here at Jimmy John's Field, and it's another great night for baseball. Tonight, the first place Utica Unicorns will battle the blazing hot Woolly Mammoths in this cross-conference matchup. Hi, everybody. My name is Leo Ortel, broadcasting alongside Rich Borland to bring you the call for this Polish-American Heritage Night here at the ballpark. This past Tuesday, the Unicorns took on the Beavers in a non-public affair, and the Unicorns entered the seventh inning down by 1. Jimmy Latona changed the game with his go-ahead 3-run shot in the seventh inning as he now leads the league with 6 home runs. After losing 5 out of their last 7 games prior to that contest, the Unicorns finally got back into the win column and sit in sole possession of first place with their 13-8 record. Then, in a non-public game yesterday, Ben McKendall continued his USPBL success by throwing 6 innings of 1-run baseball while striking out 4 and earning his second win to help the Mammoths move to a 9-11 record. With the win against the Hoppers last night, the Mammoths have now won 6 straight games. And tonight, Spencer Stockton of the Unicorns will match up against Matt Cronin of the Woolly Mammoths on the bump. In one 6-inning outing this year, Cronin gave up just 3 runs while striking out 4. The product out of UMass Dartmouth will look for his first USPBL win and, more importantly, his team's 7th straight win. Stockton, a familiar name now in the USPBL, comes in with a surprising 3-3 record, but his 3.08 ERA is among the best of all starting pitchers in the league. Stockton has also fanned a USPBL high 39 batters this year in 38 innings of work, so the Unicorns will look for him to tally another quality start. Offensively, the Mammoths will look for Alec Craig, Sonny Cortese, and Jake Polshin to continue their success at the plate. Polshin just earned Player of the Week after a great offensive week, and the Mammoths have now captured 4 out of 7 Player of the Week honors this season, thanks to their league-leading offense. Although the Unicorns have struggled offensively in the past couple of weeks, they will look for Coley Curry, Dan Elliott, and Jimmy Latona to produce at the top half of their lineup. In 7 head-to-head matchups this season, the Mammoths have outscored the Unicorns 48-33, but actually have less wins. Interestingly, the Unicorns won the first 4 matchups against the Mammoths this season, but the Mammoths have come back to win 3 straight by a wide margin. So we should be in for another good one tonight. I'm now going to send it over to Rich to dive into the starting pitchers and tonight's starting lineups.
Yeah, excited for this one here, Leo. Cronin and Stockton, 2 guys who have had a lot of success so far in their careers. Of course, Stockton on the season, the 3-3 record, the only pitcher with 3 wins on the year in the USPBL. He's got a 3.08 ERA, which is good for 7th in the league. He's tied for 2nd in games started with 6, 2nd in innings pitched. The kicker, though, he's got just 7 walks to 39 strikeouts, 39 Ks, good enough for number 1 on the list in the league. Hitters batting just .230 against him so far this year. He's got the 3rd best whip, which is just over 1, and then he's got the 2nd best strikeout to walk ratio in the league. On the other end of it, Matt Cronin. He's a new face here in the USPBL. He comes to us from UMass Dartmouth. So far this season, he's got just the 1 outing as he had a 4.50 ERA in that game. In the 1 start, he went 6 innings, allowed 3 earned runs on 6 hits, had just 2 walks and 4 strikeouts, but did give up 2 doubles out of the 6 hits he allowed. Nothing else extra base-wise. Overall, he threw 88 pitches, 56 of them for strikes. In terms of the first pitch, he threw only 14 out of 24 for first pitch strikes. And the other end of it for Spencer Stockton on the year, he throws strikes about 68% of the time, but his first pitch is tremendous. He's thrown a strike on the first pitch 73% of the time. But one oddity that you and I talked about prior to the game starting there, Leo, even though he's thrown strikes on the first pitch 73% of the time, batters are hitting just below 300 against him on first pitch. So that's something that is sort of a blessing and a curse. You try to get ahead of the hitters, but when they know you're that accurate, sometimes they can get a hold of it. In terms of the batters, as we take a look at these 2 teams tonight, we'll start off with the visiting Westside Woolly Mammoths, the leadoff hitter, the second baseman, number 17, Alec Craig. He was over 2 last night against yesterday during a day game. Ryan Kemp, the number 2 hole hitter, he's at third base tonight. He was 1 for 4 yesterday. Sonny Cortese, the man with the best batting average and the most hits in the league, a .395 average, 32 hits. He's batting third in center. Jake Polshin, the USPBL Player of the Week, his numbers rising game after game. He's batting fourth and playing first. Dan Williams, the former Unicorn, playing against his old team tonight. He's batting fifth for Westside as the DH. Will Johnson, the left fielder, he's batting 6th. He's on an absolute tear at the moment, getting that batting average creeping up into 4th overall at 355. Javon Shelby getting the start tonight in right field. He's batting 7th. He was only at the plate once in the non-public game there yesterday, but he was hit by a pitch on the first one he saw, so a tough day for him. Jackson Smith, he's batting 8th, doing the catching tonight, as he was not in the game yesterday. And then Dobson, rounding out Westside's lineup at shortstop. He was 2 for 3 with a pair of singles yesterday, and he's got 20 hits on the year. Matt Cronin's opposition tonight, that's Utica's lineup. Coley Curry getting the nod tonight, starting in center field. Batting 2nd, the left fielder, one of the new faces. He's number 2, Josh Goulet. Batting 3rd, the designated hitter, number 21, Dan Elliott. He was 3 for 4 on Tuesday with a home run and 2 singles. Jimmy Latona added again with the extra bases, as he was 2 for 4 on Tuesday with another home run, as he's batting 4th tonight. Colin Rideout, who's got the 3rd most hits in the league with 23 of them. He's batting 5th at first. Joe Campagna, the 3rd baseman, and batting 6th tonight. Donovan Smith, the right fielder, he's batting 7th. Kyle Bonnecke moving down the lineup here tonight, as he'd been at near the top for most of the season thus far after the first couple of weeks. And then Adrian Guzman fitting in right at home, the shortstop, batting 9th with the .289 batting average, the only Utica Unicorn with a batting average in the top 10 at the moment in the league. So they're looking to see what they can do tonight against a man in Matt Cronin, who is in his USPBL 2nd start of the season. And then on the other end of it, Spencer Stockton looking to creep up above 500. And as we already mentioned, the only pitcher with 3 wins coming into play today in the entire league, looking to get his 4th of the season in just his 7th start. So we're excited for this one. We'll take a quick break, head down to the field. Again, it's Polish American Heritage Night. We'll head down to the field for our national anthems, and then we will be back for our first pitch. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Mammoths, Unicorns, getting ready for action.
Please direct your attention to the field, where the Bobble Dance Ensemble will be presenting the colors for Polish Night. Ladies and gentlemen, we remind you to please remain standing until the colors have been retired following our national anthem. And at this point, please turn your attention behind home plate, where Father Roman will do a blessing before tonight's game.
Good evening, everyone. Dzień dobry. Welcome to the beautiful event here. I'm so excited and very happy to be here. So let's pray together for God's blessing upon all of us here. Almighty ever-living God, Father of all, we thank you for many gifts we are receiving from you. We thank you for the gift of life, and thank you for the gift that we can be together, play and stay together. Bless all of us here, those who organized, those who came to enjoy this beautiful time. Bless all people. Bless today the Polish descent. May Almighty God bless us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dziękuję bardzo, witam serdecznie i wszyscy grajmy w baseball. Thank you very much. Dziękuję.
Ladies and gentlemen, singing the Polish national anthem this evening is Nick Nowakowski.
Jeszcze Polska nie zginęła, póki my żyjemy. Co nam obca przemoc żeła, szablą odbierzemy. Marsz, marsz Dąbrowski, ziemi włoskiej do Polski, za Twoim przewodem złączymy się z narodem. Marsz, marsz Dąbrowski, ziemi włoskiej do Polski, za Twoim przewodem złączymy się z narodem.
this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please remain standing and remove your hats. Veterans and active military may keep your hats on while rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, sponsored by the Detroit Medical Center DMC and performed tonight by Gabrielle Fazio.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. How about a big hand for our performers this evening? Great job.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, anthem's all said and done. That means it's time for baseball as the 9-11 Westside Woolly Mammoths taking on the 13-8 first place Utica Unicorns, and sort of an anomaly as the best team in the league at the moment in last place, and for the most part the worst team at the moment in first place.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing to think, and who knows what we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting offensively as far as the Mammoths. A lot of good bats in their lineup as they currently lead the league with their .278 team batting average. Alec Craig, obviously in the leadoff spot, has been great since coming into the league, but Sonny Cortese all year has been one of the best players. But Jake Polston also getting the Player of the Week honors, really from top to bottom. Alec Craig to Ryan Dobson, this Mammoths lineup is very solid. The Unicorns have relied heavily on their power. They come in with just the .240 team batting average, but they do have 21 home runs, which does lead the league among the four teams. So it will be interesting to see, with a good starting pitcher on the mound, how the Westside Woolly Mammoths fare.
Yeah, Stockton so far on this season mentioned that 3-3 record with the 3.08 ERA. Stockton so far this season against the Mammoths as a whole, taking a quick look at the moment. But Stockton, I mean, he's a guy who's got that type of potential where, you see things that, if he can improve just a little bit, he can make it to that next level. But so far against Westside this year, he's got the 2 outings. Both of those went 7 innings. Back on the 17th of May, he gave up just 1 hit in those 7 innings, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. And then back on the last day of May, 7 innings, 4 runs, only 1 of them earned, with 5 hits allowed and just 1 walk to 6 strikeouts. But let's be honest, that was an entirely different lineup there for Mark Wiedemeyer and company. So we'll see exactly how he fares tonight against this Westside Woolly Mammoth team.
And interestingly, he is coming off a relief outing on the 22nd against the Beavers. He threw just the 1 in the 3rd inning but struck out 2 batters, did give up 1 run. It was his first relief appearance of the year, just trying to maybe get him in some action late in that week, but really should be a great matchup tonight.
Yeah, the Unicorns only had 2 public games last week, so it was funny. On Sunday they started Hensley, and then they went to Goodson, and then they went to Stockton. You had your 3 best pitchers all pitch on one day, as the Unicorns, like we mentioned, 2-5 in their last 7, as the Mammoths looking to win their 7th straight. We're excited for this matchup. Glad for you to join us all here tonight. Once again, Rich Borland, Leo Ortel, your broadcasters, as beautiful night for baseball. Finally, we're seeing some exceptional baseball weather over the last couple of weekends. As Stockton getting ready to start his night, Unicorns in their home white uniforms. Try and say that 5 times fast. As the first pitch of the night, 7:06, 88 degrees, and barely any clouds in the sky, is Alec Craig, the man who's got that 522, yes, 522 batting average coming into play today. Looks at the first pitch and then fouls off the second over there past the first base coach, Brian Kluppy.
And Craig, in 23 at-bats this season, has only struck out twice, so he is making contact even when he is getting out. So he's really put together a good season, slugging .696. He's got 4 doubles, but still looking for that first home run.
Good pitch there from Stockton at just 83 miles an hour. Took some off of it, and you can see there Craig well out in front of it on back-to-back pitches. And if I'm Stockton, I'd maybe stay with the off-speed stuff against a guy like Craig, who can clearly tell he's been having a lot of fun with the fastball so far this season. 12 hits in 7 games, 13 runs, 6 RBIs. He at least puts this ball in play, like you mentioned, Leo, a guy who's not going to strike out all that often. The main reason he's up at the top of this lineup, but he won't get it done here. First play of the day, a ground out to second, courtesy of Kyle Bonneke. And speaking of him, let's go with the defensive schematic here for Utica. Josh Goulet in left, Coley Curry out there, Dan Elliott out there in center field, as, of course, the DH there is Curry. The right fielder, Donovan Smith. At third base, the hot corner, Joe Campagna. Shortstop, Adrian Guzman. The second baseman, Kyle Bonneke. And then over at first is Colin Rideout, Jimmy Latona. Doing the catching there as a part of the battery for Utica. As you see, the 76-mile-an-hour slider missed low and away there from Stockton. He throws that pitch about 12% of the time. Don't see it all that often for first pitch, but he tries to against the second hole hitter here for Westside and Ryan Kemp, as he looks at called strike 1 on the second try.
And you obviously mentioned that Stockton kind of relies on that fastball, but kind of throughout the season he has progressed and mixed it up a lot more with his off-speed stuff. Already 2 off-speed pitches in this at-bat to Kemp.
And that's what you're going to have to do against a team like this who is just on an absolute tear. You got to start throwing pitches and counts that you don't normally expect to see. As you see Kemp swinging and missing at that 1-1 offer, nowhere close on it. And for a guy who was at about a 50% rate in terms of throwing his fastball over the last couple of weeks, coming into play tonight, that four-seam has dropped down into the 32%, and the changeup all the way up to 29%. So he's really working on that changeup, and it's showing as the count goes to 2-2 on Kemp. Kemp, like I mentioned, 1 for 4 in the game yesterday against Eastside with a single, trying to give the Mammoths their first knock of the day here, as this one hit just foul, as Campagna tried to make a play on it, but we'll do the 2-2 all over again.
And you were talking about Stockton seeing the Mammoths twice, but obviously their lineup has changed significantly since that college senior showcase, not only adding new players into the league, but also Ryan Kemp coming over from the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. He's kind of fit nicely into this 2 spot. Hasn't really had as much success necessarily with the batting average, but his only home run this season did come with the Woolly Mammoths.
Trying to turn things up in the new uniform, the Middle Tennessee State product. Starting to play in the weather that he's used to as the 2-2 pitch. Another changeup in there at 84. This one missing a bit low and inside. Real good eye there for Kemp on a count where you're trying to protect at all costs. Not much wind here at the park tonight. We'll see if we get any wind on this swing as it's fouled off. So a really good battle here for Kemp. You saw Craig take at least 4 pitches there in his at-bat, and Kemp already with, count 'em, 7, as he's expecting pitch number 8 here from Stockton, who's really having to work against just a guy who's 5'4".
And Kemp is another guy, just like Alec Craig, that they're both short, but they both like to make contact. And 28 at-bats with the Woolly Mammoths, Kemp has just 3 strikeouts, so strikeouts are definitely a rare thing for Kemp.
The payoff pitch once again from Stockton. Outside corner, what an at-bat from Ryan Kemp. Works the 8 pitches, and not only that, but he gets the walk. Sometimes in a situation like that, you almost feel worse as a pitcher when you lose the battle all on your own compared to allowing your opposition to make it the best out of you. But Stockton loses it there on the payoff pitch. Coming into tonight on 3-2 pitches, he had 13 strikes to just 2 balls, and hitters were just 2 for 8 against him, but Kemp getting the better of him on this past try. And speaking of getting the better of him, here comes Sonny Cortese. He's gotten the best of everybody so far this season. First in a lot of offensive categories. He's got the most hits with 32, the most runs scored with 23, tied for second with 15 RBIs. That batting average, a just unfathomable 395 so far in his time in 20 games. But the one thing Sonny Cortese has, I would say he's about a 4-tool player, as we're still looking for some more power to be shown from Cortese. He's got just the 1 on the year, and I'm almost positive you said it earlier, Leo, 2 home runs in his last year at college. So
that's right.
Or excuse me, with the Train Robbers there when they won the Pecos League last year. As the 2-0 to Cortese in there, called strike 1. According to our home plate umpire there, Mr. Sal Giacomo Antonio. Big pitch there for Stockton to not allow a guy like Cortese to get ahead in the count, 3-0.
And you saw Stockton kind of worrying a little bit about Ryan Kemp on the base pass. So far with the Mammoths, 0 for 1, but does have some good speed. Surprising that he doesn't have more stolen base tries. Looks like Sonny Cortese just called time. Just got granted it, luckily there.
All right, so the count now 2-1 on Cortese. Kemp over there at first. He's 0 for 1 on the season, not going anywhere on this one. Good pitch there, another changeup from Stockton. It looks like he's got that figured out as the 2-1 gets enough of that outside corner. Cortese not agreeing with it, but definitely close enough. So Stockton gets the count back even as you see Guzman shading up the middle with Kemp on first. The 2-2 in on the hands. Really great pitch as Campagna trying over there, but won't have enough speed to get to that foul ball. Cortese stays alive for at least one more.
And we mentioned Craig and Kemp do make contact quite a bit. Cortese does have a little bit higher strikeout numbers with 14 and 81 at-bats, but Cortese is a guy that also battles and creates long at-bats for pitchers, which is obviously something that the pitchers don't like. But the Mammoths offense thrives on these top 3 guys, seeing a lot of pitches early in the game so that those guys in the 4, 5, 6 spots, Polshin, Williams, and Johnson on the bench, can start seeing what his tendencies are early on into the game.
You see Cortese fouls off another one. So between Kemp and Cortese, both of these gents having lengthy at-bats, and combine that with the heat. I mean, Spencer Stockton's from Wellington, Florida, so I'm sure that's not getting to him. But talk about the situational heat here as he's having to throw a lot of pitches already here in the top of the first. Kemp over there on the first base bag, not going anywhere is Cortese again. Fighting on that 89-mile-an-hour pitch. 3 foul balls in a row here. Cortese continuing to fight. Already 7 pitches in this at-bat. And with the 8th, that'll tie Kemp. And not only that, but Jake Polshin, the USPBL Hitter of the Week, due up on deck.
That's
so
right.
Nothing easier coming up.
Yeah, this is a tough at-bat here for Stockton. Just can't seem to put him away here. He'd like to roll a double play ball, but Cortese definitely has a lot of speed coming out of that left-handed batter's box.
There it is, the ground ball chopped over to the right side. Only one play for ride out as Kemp will get to second with ease. But the long battle ends. Stockton victorious, but how much victorious when you throw that many pitches? So still a great at-bat from Cortese, and even when he gets retired, he still makes the most of his opportunity.
And he at least moves that runner up to second. That's big time with 2 outs for Polshin, who was on a tear last week, 6 for 13 with 4 RBIs, earned that Player of the Week honor. It's the 4th Mammoth now that has earned Player of the Week, joining teammates Ethan Whisker, Alec Craig, and Sonny Cortese now. All offensive players earning Player of the Week for this team.
Yeah, they are loaded offensively now as they have, count 'em, 4 batters hitting above 350. That is just nothing easy to work with if you're the opposition. As Polshin looks at the called strike 1, it's even now. Polshin was 3 for 5 with 3 singles, 2 RBIs, alongside the 2Ks against the Diamond Hoppers in their 7-6 win. The 1-1 here from Stockton. Hard ground ball in between short and third. Kemp getting the wave on home. Josh Goulet with the throw to home. One hop. The tag applied in time as the plate goes in favor of the Unicorns, and they escape the jam in the top of the first as the gutsy call by Wiedemeyer does not go as planned. We remain scoreless. Into the bottom of the first we go. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the bottom of the first we go. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. A play at the plate ends the threat in the top of the first. Spencer Stockton's 23 pitches do not allow a run, even though he allowed a walk and a single. As the day begins for Matt Cronin, throws a pair of pitches, one for a ball, one for a strike, to the leadoff hitter in Coley Curry, originally slotted as the center fielder going into play tonight, but officially at the DH as he's battling a little soreness, but good enough to go tonight, which is a good sign there for the man at the leadoff position. Went 2 for 3 with a home run and a double in the non-public game on Tuesday against Birmingham Bloomfield. He looks at another one, trying to get comfortable in this one as he's got the count 2-2. Matt Cronin, meanwhile, in his second start here with these Westside Woolly Mammoths, works the full count against Curry with that miscue on the 2-2. Cronin, so far this season, in that one game, 6 innings, 3 earned runs on 6 hits, 2 walks, 4. Whoa, this one, back up the middle, before I could even say it. 4 Ks on the season, but he allows the first base knock of the evening on the first try. That's Coley Curry back up the middle. He's swinging a good bat right now, and we're just happy to see him healthy in this lineup, providing for Utica.
Yeah, that's a good at bat there on the 3-2 count. Gets the single up the middle. We thought Curry was maybe starting in center field, but he flip-flopped with Dan Elliott, as now Curry is the DH. Curry not really the traditional leadoff hitter as far as speed goes. He's only 1 for 1 on the base pass this season, so don't look for him to maybe steal a base.
This one to the left side. Dobson over to the second baseman in Craig. Over to first for the double play as Goulet grounds out into 2. I'll tell you right here and now, Leo, from the start of that play, it looked as if that ball was not hit hard enough as Goulet looked like he was going to have the fielder's choice, but
Yeah.
a really good turn there by Alec Craig. Dobson got there pretty much as quick as he could have, and then it was Alec Craig who comes through with the quick transition and gets the throw perfectly over to Polshan at first. Big-time play from a big-time player as he now halfway to right field, as you can see, playing into the shift against Dan Elliott, who swings on the first pitch and fouls it off out of play.
Cronin will work with 3 pitches in his repertoire, the 4-seamer, the slider, and the 2-seam. His main go-to is his first start. We're the 4-seam and the slider, but not a large sample size, so it'll be interesting to see how he mixes it up.
The 0-1 to Elliott. Slider. Little hop there, but Polshan was ready for it. Takes that one all on his own, and after a leadoff single from Coley Curry, a 1-2-3 unconventional inning as we head to the second scoreless. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Tough snag at first by Polshan for the third and final out. 23 pitches for Stockton, just 9 for Cronin in that first frame, and now a former Unicorn facing off against his team in Dan Williams as he swings through the 0-1 quickly. Down 0-2. Spencer Stockton, the league leader in strikeouts with 39 of them, up to 40 as he gets his first victim of the day, the former teammate. Hello there, Dan, and we'll see you later. 1 up and 1 down as Will Johnson comes up to the plate.
Yeah, really, since the Unicorns lost Dan Williams, they have struggled offensively, but Williams just has not seemed to get it going so far with the Mammoths. But Will Johnson on the other end really has .355 average for him. He's got 2 home runs. 1 was a grand slam. 1 was a 3-run shot. And get this, Rich, 1 strikeout in 31 at-bats.
Yeah, that's the key there. Only the 1 strikeout. Incredible stuff as he continues on this hot streak. 0-1 he starts, but then kind of rolls over that 0-1 pitch, and that's the difference between the fastball and the changeup there for Stockton. He's thrown a lot more changeups in fastball counts as the 5-3 putout is recorded for out number 2, but that's going to be the differences that Stockton's going to have to make if he's going to want to get out of this league at some point, as we're hoping to see another one fairly soon.
Yeah, it says he uses 6 pitches, the 4-seam, the change, the 2-seam, slider, curve, and cutter are the occasional pitches, but it definitely is good to see him working in those off-speed pitches more as this season progresses. It's what you have to do.
Javon Shelby now standing in. He was a pinch hitter in the game yesterday in the non-public affair, but he was drilled by the first pitch that he saw. So a frustrating day. You don't get the start, and then you come in, and the first thing that happens, you get drilled by a pitch. So hopefully a better day for Javon Shelby as he swings through the 0-1, and look at that, Stockton looking like he's dialed in now after that little bit of a long first inning in terms of pitch count at 23, but trying to make up for it here and be right around 30 through 2 innings as he takes his time against Shelby as he steps off.
Shelby's definitely got some odd numbers, .231 batting average, but has a .355 on base and leads the team surprisingly with 3 home runs. So he's kind of had a quiet good season. The batting average doesn't really show it, though.
Fouls off the 0-2 on the 86 mile an hour. So Stockton, a guy, like I said, throws strikes just under 70% of the time. something that he's going to want to try and maybe even lessen a little bit against a team like Westside who can hit the snot out of the ball. Won't do it there. The changeup in on the hands again. Another swing and miss for Spencer Stockton. A 1-2-3 inning accompanied by two strikeouts. We head to the home half of the second scoreless. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. The Rochester, New York native, Jimmy Latona, standing in to start the home half of the second. Matt Cronin with his second inning of work, just 9 pitches against the 3 batters to start his night as Jimmy Latona ends his way out of the way of that pitch. That one missing well inside as that fastball at 87 on the 1-0 fouled off and out of play. Latona works the count 1-1. Tuesday against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers in a big 7-5 win that Utica was desperately looking for. Latona delivered a 2-for-4 day with a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 7th when his team was down 1, driving the game-winning runs in for his team. He's been Mr. Unicorn, if you will.
Yeah, he really has.
So far this season offensively for the team as the count goes to 1-2 on a second foul ball.
And it leads the league now with the 6 home runs as he just passed Adam Gauthier, another catcher in this league, of course, of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. But Latona, who has 16 hits this year, 8 of them are for extra bases. He's got the 6 home runs and the 2 doubles. So 50% chance if Latona gets a hit that it's going to be extra base, but he's going to go down swinging here against Cronin.
So Cronin gets victim number 1 on the swing and the miss. 1 up, 1 down to start this second. As Rideout standing in now. Mentioned 23 hits on the season, tied for 3rd. Quietly trying to get things done for Utica. The batting average for Rideout at 280, respectively. 23 hits and 82 at-bats. 10 runs scored, but out of his 23 at-bats, Leo, just 2 extra base hits, and both of them are doubles. So still looking for that extra base power from Colin Rideout. But the consistency there for the most part as he looks at calling strike 1.
He does have the high batting average, only has 2 walks, so he's only got a 306 on base. The on-base percentage not much higher than the average. You would like to see him maybe take a few more pitches, but it's obviously not paying off in this at-bat.
So Cronin looking sharp. The backdoor breaking ball at 79, nowhere close, but you like to try. But a guy like Rideout not going to swing at that pitch. Maybe a little setup for some type of 2-seam in on the hands. We'll find out. The 1-2. Instead, backdoor slider again, as not an easy play, but in the end they get it as Cronin, athletically makes that play. Had to get it right on the line as Rideout was right about there. Had to make that quick decision, pick up that ball, and quickly throw it over there to Polshan for out number 2. Not easy, but you get the job done.
Yeah, that's a really tough throw, too. He kind of had to throw it over Rideout's shoulder as you saw the first baseman Polshin kind of have his glove on the inside part of the bag in foul territory, so credit to him as well, but a great play all around.
First pitch, Campagna goes around, but home plate umpire said called strike one anyway, and man, that's the topic tonight thus far. Even though Stockton had the one walk back in that first inning, he's got a lot of strikes as well as Cronin. Not going to be an easy play for the shortstop, Ryan Dobson, but he ends up making it, courtesy of Polshan over there at first as well. Another 1-2-3 inning for Cronin. He's looking really sharp through the first two frames. We head to the third. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We are through two here at Jimmy John's Field. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you as Stockton getting ready for inning number 3. He has faced darn near the minimum. He's faced off against 7 batters through 2 innings, a walk and a single in the first. Gave them a little scare, but a play at the plate for out number 3 kept this game scoreless, as it'll be Jackson Smith, Ryan Dobson, and then back to the top of the order and Alec Craig, the 8-9 one-hitters, due up for Mark Wiedemeyer's team. 32 pitches for Stockton, 24 of them for strikes, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk so far on the night. This one, first pitch swinging, Stockton going to have to take this one all on his own, and it looks like that little delay there to start that inning, unfazing there for Spencer Stockton. First pitch, small comebacker. He has to charge it, make the play against a guy who is a catcher but does not have catcher's speed in Jackson Smith. Getting down that line quickly, Stockton with a bang-bang play retires him for out number 1.
And it's going to be Ryan Dobson stepping up, one of 2 guys in this Mammoths lineup that has affiliated experience. Dobson, of course, was with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Javon Shelby also played some affiliated ball as well. Dobson hitting .256 coming in, but is coming off that multi-hit game yesterday with 2 singles.
The 1-0 from Stockton. Comebacker up the middle. Stockton having a lot of attention here in this top of the third. And Dobson with that one-out single back up the middle. Hard hit as well. Happy to see Stockton get out of the way of that one. But back to the top of the order we go. And going into the top of the order with a base runner already on for this team like Westside, Craig, Kemp, Cortez, Pulshan, Williams, Will Johnson, Javon Shelby. I mean, where does it end?
Yeah, and look out for the speed on first. Ryan Dobson is 7 for 7, which is good for second in the league, only behind the man standing in, Alec Craig.
So plenty of speed on the 2 of the 4 quadrants of the diamond as the first pitch to Craig misses low and inside. So Stockton getting behind these last 2 batters, and we saw what happened just a moment ago. Dobson took advantage of the 1-0 count, and now it's his turn. His batters this season thus far, batting .500 on the 1-0 count against Stockton, but he gets the strike there to bring it even at 1-1. Batters 5 out of 10 on a 1-0 count against Stockton so far this year. So it just goes to show how crucial that first pitch can be as he keeps tabs on Dobson over there at first with the throw.
And that's definitely an interesting stat, too, because we mentioned the above 290 average on the 0-1 count, so, or actually on a first pitch. So definitely some interesting stats as far as Stockton in different counts.
Takes the 1-1 does Craig. Yesterday was 0 for 2 against Eastside, but had 3 walks as well as 2 runs scored. So it just goes to show you don't necessarily need to hit the ball to have success. But against a guy like Stockton, he's got just 7 on the season. This one up the middle, sliding in safely to second is Dobson. A perfect now 7 for 7. He's got 8 for 8. He has got lightning speed out there on the base pass as he looks a little shooken up after that slide in to second.
And kind of going back to Craig, he was riding a 6-game hit streak up until yesterday. So the hit streak ends. The on-base streak does continue, but Craig hit safely in almost every game up until yesterday.
He earns the walk on the 3-1. First time he reaches base today, but now runners on first and second. Both of them have plenty of speed. A single will undoubtedly score Dobson. And at this point, a double could easily score Craig.
And kind of going back to the start of this inning, it looks like it's going to be easy with the 8 and 9 hitters coming up, but Smith and Dobson, not the typical 8 and 9 hitters. This Mammoths lineup from top to bottom is really solid, and going back to the top here with some speed, Ryan Kemp's got a ton of speed out of the box, and you got the 2 fastest players really in the league, you could say, as far as stolen bases on the base pass right now.
Yeah, combined between these 2 gents, 16 to 16. That's incredible stuff going into tonight. Now 17 to 17 is this one. Over there to the third baseman, Campagna, with the chopping of the ground ball. There was only one play he was going to make, and that was over at first. As Kemp grounds out into the 5-3, sort of your unofficial sacrifice as runners move to second and third, but that ground out won't mean much unless Sonny Cortese can do something about it. And here's where you pick your battle. Maybe 2-3 weeks ago, they would have put Cortese on for Pulshan, but with the just demolition that the man in the on-deck circle has put on over the last couple of weeks, you might have to pitch to Cortese here, who's 0 for 1, compared to Pulshan, who's got already 1 single on the day and was that close to getting the first RBI of the evening when Kemp was thrown out at home plate with that good toss from Josh Goulet out there in left for the third and final out in the top of the first.
And even if you put Cortez on, you put another guy with speed on, 7 for 8 on stolen base attempts, he obviously wouldn't be put in the position to steal, but then you put 3 speedy guys in that could score on a ball in the gap from Pulshan, but like you said, Rich, they are going to have to pitch to Cortez in this situation.
If I'm Westside, I really have to, at least at this point, take note that the changeup is something that Stockton is going to be throwing more often than the slider. So I would expect fastball majority of the time, and then pick your poison between deciding which off-speed pitch he delivers, whether it's going to tail or whether it's going to slide in on you. But either way, he gets the outside pitch called for strike 2. Sonny Cortese down with 2 strikes now, as he had that long at-bat in the first. In total, 9 pitches as the 1-2 changeup on the outside part looked good, but just misses by a hair on the outside black.
And this is what Cortese does. Ability to take pitches, draw walks, and work his way into full counts and 3-ball counts. Draws a lot of walks.
The 2-2 to Cortese. The changeup at 83 again, missing away. So Stockton, back-to-back changeups away. Can't get Cortese to pull the string. So you expect fastball here, and if I'm Cortese, I sure would be. Or do you roll the dice with Stockton and throw the changeup over the plate to try and get this pull of the string? That one, the fastball, upstairs, but enough in the zone, or at least close enough for Cortese to try and protect with 2 strikes. Their count remains full, but another really good battle here from Sonny, which is something that is true to its name, as he has been that way all year long. An on-base percentage at .495, second in the league. Trying to get on base here in this another long battle. The payoff pitch. Changeup hit to the right side. The first baseman, right out, takes it on his own. The bang-bang play retires Cortese with the unassisted putout, and the one-out single and walk go unscathed for Westside in the top of the third. We head to the home half. Scoreless. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We head to the bottom of the third. Rich Borland and Leo Ortel with you. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Unicorns, as it'll be Donovan Smith, Kyle Bonneke, and Adrian Guzman for Skip Essian's lineup here to start the home half of the third. Smith looks at called strike 1 to begin this at-bat on the inside part of it. And then you see the slider missing just a hair low. Brings this count even at 1-1. Smith on this season batting .318 at the moment, the only Unicorn batting above 300, even though he's only played in the 6 games. Looks at called strike 2 quickly, as Smith in those 6 games, 7 hits on 22 at-bats, 2 doubles, 4 runs scored, 2 runs driven in, as he won't get anything going on that 1-2 slider at 82 miles an hour. tried to hold back but could not. He pulls the trigger, and that's strikeout number 2 on the night for Cronin. He starts the third just as he had started the second on a 1-2 pitch swing and miss strikeout.
He did give up the base hit back in the first inning, but since then, no base runners have reached for the Unicorns, so he has faced the minimum as Goulet did ground into that double play in the first, which retired Curry on the base pass. So Cronin turning this into a pretty good outing so far.
Yeah, Cronin, like we said, with those 3 earned runs in his debut, starting to really dial in here against Utica. Bonneke on the 0-1, the slider at 80. Another call and strike as Bonneke down 0-2 quickly, and Cronin, a guy who throws plenty of strikes, coming into this inning, 19 total and 14 were for strikes. The leg kick, the push at 88, misses upstairs, but you saw Cronin really brought that one back and fired that one as, of course, with a little bit more speed. Sometimes comes a little bit more inaccuracy, but we'll see if he tries more of a finesse pitch here on this 1-2 to Bonneke. Backdoor breaker, can't get it to go. That one with good movement on it, just a hair late as it looked as if it slid not across the plate but behind it.
Yeah, that slider's got some really good movement on it. Tough pitch to take there.
As this one, a fastball in on the hands, right there to Jake Polshan for out number 1, as the little line out to first records out number 2. Quickly 2 up and 2 down as he's trying to face the minimum here through the first 3 innings, and everyone has struggled except for the leadoff hitter and Coley Curry, who hit that base knock back up the middle on the full count to start the home half of the first. But since then, smooth sailing with in total, count 'em, 4 groundouts, 2 strikeouts, and a line out there. Adrian Guzman, though, looks at ball 1 just outside. Mentioned Guzman, even though he's batting 9th in the lineup, he's got the best batting average in terms of, with the amount of games that he's played, just 289 here this year. That's good stuff for the guy who was batting around 215 last year. But Guzman finding a home here as the everyday shortstop for Skip Essian's team. That 289 batting average, good for 8th in the league, but the only Unicorn with enough at-bats to be in the top 10 overall in the USPBL as the 1-1 goes to 1-2.
And we saw Guzman actually in that leadoff spot where Coley Curry is currently sitting tonight, and it was the same in the non-public game on Tuesday. So Guzman has been moved down into kind of that double leadoff spot like we talk about in the 9 spot. But you also mentioned the low batting average for Guzman last year, but he also had just the 1 home run over 125 at-bats. He's already got 2 this year, so the power numbers have picked up for him as well.
The 2-2 from Cronin. Slider. Looks like it's got enough to stay in the park. The question is, can there be a play made on it? And Jake Polshan with the run over the shoulder. Are you kidding me? Mammoths just cruising here as they're looking for their 7th straight win. But we still need a run as we're scoreless through 3. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We head to the fourth, scoreless. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you as a pitcher's duel. So far through the first three, we go to the fourth hitter, Jake Polshan, who made that great catch on the fly over his head in foul territory on the pop-up that we weren't sure he was going to get to, but not only can he hit, he's showing it with the leather over at first base as well, really becoming the complete player that we expected as the 0-1 in the dirt gets a piece of Latona, but nobody on base. Doesn't matter. It's 1-1.
And really, Polston's college numbers actually worse than his USPBL numbers. He only batted .244 his senior year at Houston Baptist University, which is D1 ball, but Polston hitting .361, like we said, coming off that Player of the Week honors in Week 7. Got the 2 home runs as well.
This one called strike 3. Rung up on strikes is Polshan, as that is strikeout number 3 for Stockton. Only 3 strikeouts through these 3+ innings, something we're not used to saying for Stockton. Usually it's a bit more.
Yeah, he does come in leading the league. He's got pretty much 1 strikeout per inning, over it actually. 39 Ks coming in with 38 innings pitched, and we were kind of talking about in between innings, the low walk numbers. He's got only 7 walks coming into this game, but he has already walked 2 batters, so it's been a little bit different of an outing for Stockton, but part of it could be him using his off-speed stuff, throwing less pitches in the strike zone, but it's paying off for him so far as he's only given up the 2 hits against the best lineup in this league now.
And for the second consecutive time, Spencer Stockton has his former teammate down 0-2 on 2 pitches. Dan Williams on the 3rd straight pitch in that first at-bat of the day, which led off the second. He struck out as Latona finished him off with a 2-3 putout, but the 89-mile-an-hour fastball misses well upstairs. Latona couldn't get the glove on it, but either way, nothing Williams was going to do with it. So my question here, what do you go with after you miss the 0-2? I'd got to go with the slider here. We'll see what he can do. Instead, stays with the changeup that's been his bread and butter tonight. Dan Elliott out there in center. Dances for a second, then finds it as one Dan retires another. Quickly 2 up and 2 down for Stockton. And between him and Matt Cronin, one of the better pitching matchups we've seen as of late.
And you thought he was going to go with the slider there, which is definitely not a bad call. A changeup is definitely a tough pitch to throw to a left-handed hitter. If you hang that pitch, many left-handers are not going to miss it. But a great pitch for Spencer Stockton. Records the 2nd out in a row here. Looking to send him down 1-2-3.
This one into the gap in left center, but it looks like Goulet has a beat on it, and he does. First pitch swinging there for Johnson, retires him, and the Mammoths retired in order for, count it, the 2nd time tonight. We head to the home half of the 4th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the bottom of the fourth inning we go. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel here back with you. It has been quite the pitcher's duel so far in this one. Matt Cronin through the order one time already. Coley Curry mad at himself on the 1-0 pitch. Cronin delivers the slider, and it looked as if Coley Curry mentally was expecting it. Physically, couldn't adjust as the count evens up at 1-1. Fastball inside here at 89 looked good as Coley sort of up on that plate. It's close to the body, but close to the strike zone as well there. In the end, it goes in favor of the batter as the slider on the 2-1 at 80 miles an hour. Curry swinging through this one as he evens it up at 2-2. Worked the full count in the first and then hit that single back up the middle. The lone hit for Utica the first time through the order. We'll see if he can deliver to start them here in the home half of the fourth as that backdoor slider with just a little bit less of the cutting action. Reason for it staying outside. Now Curry for the second consecutive time works the count full. Can he be victorious again as Cronin ready to work? The pitch in on the hands, the slider. Now that one, talk about the bite on that, as so much more than the previous, and Curry can't believe it. He's retired for the first time tonight, and overall strikeout number 3 for Matt Cronin, third consecutive inning to start the inning off with a K.
And last inning, I was talking about the changeup that Spencer Stockton threw to a left-handed hitter in Dan Williams, and the slider against against Curry in the left-handed hitter. Very tough pitch to throw.
Goulet, who's already got one home run on the season, trying to make it another one, but instead, Javon Shelby showing his athleticism. Really good jump on that ball because you had to have made one in order to make that catch as Goulet takes one about as far as you can to right, but Shelby on the run makes the catch about 2, 3, 4 steps in front of the wall. Gave himself enough time to slow down a bit. Not a running into the wall type of catch, but darn close to it. 2 up and 2 down, and count them now. 10 straight retired for the starting pitcher in Cronin. Is this one down the left field line? Dan Elliott, he delivers as he's rounding first, thinking about second. As you see the dimensions of the USPBL coming into play there, as you see the left field wall. Well, you can't see it here on the YouTube feed, but to kind of explain it to you, it cuts back in for the bullpen after that giant gap in foul territory, and it landed fair, but with the left-handed batter Elliott up, it tailed so much that it hit that corner of the bullpen, and it ended up staying put and forced the left fielder Will Johnson to run a while, but no opportunity for him to retire Elliott at second base. So Cronin allows just his second hit of the night, and we'll see what Jimmy Latona can do. The USPBL home run leader with 6. Looks at the slider for called strike 1. Mentioned in the pregame show, Cronin throws that slider about 36% of the time, but it is evident here tonight because he is on with that pitch. Wouldn't be shocked to see him throw that a couple of times here to Latona in this battle. His fastball, though, on the 0-1. Seems as if he's throwing sliders and fastball counts and fastballs and slider counts.
Yeah, that's what you got to do to keep the hitters guessing up there. And as a hitter, the approach can really never be to, see one pitch depending on what the count is. Sometimes you can, I guess, on a 3-0 count, but in a 1-1 count here for Latona, you're not looking necessarily for one pitch, maybe looking for location. 1-2 count here on Latona. Kind of a questionable call there. Looked to be a little bit inside and below the knees.
And to the normal eye, yes. Matt Cronin, it looks as if that slider, he's proven it again and again, that inside pitch to Curry and now that last one to Latona, he can make it work against both lefties and righties, and it looks like he made it work there, but not according to our first base umpire. Instead, it's even at 2-2. Good enough job there from Latona to hold back just enough.
That's another really tough pitch to take. The slider's got great bite on it, especially that late break. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to it here. He doesn't have the hardest fastball.
Latona ready for the 2-2. Let's see what Cronin goes with. Fastball. It's hit over to the shortstop, Dobson. A bang-bang play at first, but it's in time. Latona can't believe it, but that's the way she goes sometimes, and Latona is retired for the second time tonight. First on a strikeout, this one on a ground out as the 2-out double from Elliott goes unscathed. We remain scoreless after 4. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We head to the 5th inning. Javon Shelby, first pitch swinging. The third baseman, Campagna, can't make it, but the man behind him, Adrian Guzman, accompanied by Colin Rideout at first. Bang, bang play over there at the first base bag for a play that we thought was going to easily be an infield single. Javon Shelby is rung up there. Unbelievable play from Adrian Guzman as well as Colin Rideout at opposite ends of the field.
You kind of saw Spencer Stockton out there on the mound kind of put his glove above his head, pretty surprised that he made the play. Thanking Guzman for the defense. It's kind of been slow offensively for both teams, just 4 hits combined between the two teams through the first 4 innings of play here. The Mammoths definitely struggling against Stockton. They come in with the 278 average, which is best among all teams by a long shot, and also come in with the league-leading mark, 109 runs batted in, But their offense has kind of gone cold tonight, but no surprise with Stockton on the bump.
I was really wondering which type of Spencer Stockton we were going to see tonight, because he's had a couple of games where he's allowed double-digit hits. 2 different occasions, on the 15th of June and also on the 25th of May, he allowed double-digit hits, but they were against once the Diamond Hoppers and once against Birmingham Bloomfield. But like we said, even though he had in total 14 combined innings and just 6 hits and 1 earned run against Westside this year in 2 starts, it's a whole different Westside lineup compared to the last time that he saw them.
It really
is. But a really, really good job for Stockton to battle against the hottest lineup in all of Utica.
And you mentioned the 10-plus hits in the one outing back on the 15th against the Beavers. We talked about it a ton. 10 hits given up, but 11 strikeouts. And we were trying to look up if it's ever happened before in the major leagues, and we couldn't find anything.
As it looks as if Jackson Smith goes fishing on this gorgeous day, but doesn't get anything out of it as he swings and misses at the 4th strikeout of the day for Spencer Stockton. In total, 3 out of 4 via the swing and the miss, and that's what he's been able to do, and that's what he continues to do. A lot of swings and misses as Dobson stands in now. He didn't swing and miss. He made contact on the second pitch he saw tonight, and it was on that dreaded 1-0 count that has seemed to have gotten Spencer Stockton in a little trouble this year, but he won't see it on this occasion against Dobson this time around. Gets him to swing and miss on the first pitch slider. So the off-speed to the shortstop begins his second at-bat. Mentioned he was 2 for 3 in the non-public game yesterday. Scored a run as well as having 2 singles. Hits this one into foul territory. Won't be an easy play for Rideout, but it's playable, and he ends up making the catch on the run. Tremendous defense that we're seeing here tonight from both teams. A ground out, a strikeout, and a pop out. And the inning for Westside in the top of the 5th. We head to the home half. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the bottom of the fifth we go. Another first pitch swing to enter an inning. Not an easy play, but the play is made. Colin Rideout, man who had the third most hits in the league, coming into play tonight. First pitch swing, grounder over there to the second baseman, Alec Craig, as he gets the out recorded. 1 up and 1 down for Matt Cronin, who has been absolutely spectacular tonight. Allowed a leadoff single to Coley Curry to start his evening, but then he took all the way into the fourth inning with 2 outs, where he allowed the double to Dan Elliott just a little bit ago. He's allowed nothing other than that, as he doesn't have any walks, and he's got already the 3 strikeouts through the first 4 innings, and he's got Joe Campagna down 0-1 to start. Last time Campagna was down 0-1 against Cronin, he grounded out to short. This time, a big flare into left, into the foul territory. Looks like it's going to do enough to get out of play into that left field patio area, where on a night like tonight, perfect night to bring out a group of people, whether it's
Really
a
is.
business, a group of friends, family reunion, birthday party, what have you. Having a patio party here at one of our baseball games, get all-you-can-eat buffet. I mean, oh yeah, plus a baseball game. So it's, I mean, you get a group photo on the field, you get a group welcome message on the scoreboard, drink tickets, you name it. Jimmy John's Field, a great place to be for your parties, is Campagna on the 0-2. He didn't go around, but home plate umpire Sal Giacomontonio said that didn't matter. The paint job there from Cronin gives him strikeout number 4 of the night, and the first via the swing and the miss, or excuse me, via the look.
And that's just a filthy slider once again from Cronin. He used it twice in that at bat. And really something we haven't talked about is his delivery. It is kind of deceptive, a little bit different than the traditional delivery, and it's something that could throw off the hitters. He's kind of got that high leg kick and really finishes strongly. Doesn't really, stand up tall on the mound. He kind of finishes low.
So Donovan Smith now standing in 0 for 1 with a swing and miss strikeout. That started the third inning. As this one, a front door slider at 78, misses just a bit inside. Good eye there from Smith. Mentioned 7 for his first 22 through his first 6 games. This one well away this time. So you see the slider on back-to-back occasions, not where Cronin wants it. Something we haven't been able to see for the most part up until this inning here in the 5th. So we'll see if, towards the end of this second time around the order, into the third time, we'll start to get to him. But instead, a third straight slider. Smith with the lunge. The contact is made, but he gets underneath it and pops out to the catcher in Jackson Smith. And what a tremendous night here for Matt Cronin. In total, let me give you a quick count. 52, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 59 pitches through 5 innings of work and just the 2 hits allowed. Incredible stuff here for the Mammoth starter. We head to the 6th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We are through 5, and we are scoreless here on this Thirsty Thursday at the ballpark. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. It'll be the top of the order. Due up for Mark Wiedemeyer's lineup. It'll be Alec Gregg, Ryan Kemp, Sonny Cortese combined on the night. These men 0 for 4 with 2 walks between the three of them. And all of their putouts have been via the ground out. So if you're an infielder, I'd be ready as Craig looks at the second pitch of the at-bat. This one misses a bit low, count even at 1-1. But how about the Terrence start that Alec Craig has gotten off to? I feel like we haven't talked about it enough. Just 7 games, but 12 for his first 23. Good for that .522 batting average. It's unbelievable what we've been able to see in such a short amount of time. And not only that with the 12 hits in 7 games, but 9 stolen bases in 9 attempts. Something that I guarantee you scouts that come to each and every one of these games are taking a look at. And there you go again. Down in the count with 2 strikes, taking it the opposite field. That's a textbook play and a textbook at-bat there for the man at the top of the lineup as the Mammoths get their guy on to start the 6th.
And it seems like pitchers have really already feared Craig in just his 7 games here in the league. He also came in with 12 walks. He was riding a 6-game hitting streak up until the non-public game yesterday against the Hoppers, where Rich mentioned that he was held hitless but walked 3 times as he was able to find his way on base. And look out for him now. 9 for 9 on the base pass this year, 47 for 48 his senior year in college. So watch for his speed in this at-bat to Ryan Kemp. Stockton goes to the off-speed pitch on the first pitch, even with the speed of Craig. So maybe he'll try to work with the slide step delivery to try to cut down that time of throwing the ball to the catcher. Latona does have a good arm behind home plate.
See if he tries to go. Nothing here. Another off-speed pitch for Spencer Stockton. And in terms of the chess match here in this inning, and then this at-bat against Kemp with the speedster Craig on first, the gutsy call with back-to-back off-speed pitches with one of the fastest guys in the league on the base pass. And counts where you don't expect a off-speed pitch. He brings them both, and most importantly, keeps the base runner Craig on first. As you saw right there, he tried the sort of fake steal, didn't go anywhere, wanted to see what the 0-2 was going to bring, and that's exactly what I expected. The fastball upstairs after back-to-back off-speed pitches in the strike zone. We'll see what he does here on the 1-2. Craig again with the try on the fake steal. That one I thought for sure was going to be called strike 3. Stockton can't believe it, neither can I.
I'm not sure where that one missed. It's also tough from this viewpoint up here. Ryan Kemp does have a very small strike zone as he only stands at 5'4", so it could have been a borderline call, maybe just a bit low below the knees of Ryan Kemp. And one thing I've also noticed too is, although Craig does have the good speed, he isn't one of the shorter guys in the league too, and doesn't get really the biggest lead over there on first. He's more concerned probably with his jump when he's making stolen base attempts rather than the leadoff initially.
The 2-2 to Kemp. Another off-speed pitch at 84. This one fouled off into the protective netting. Stockton into this 6th inning. He goes with 66 pitches, 45 of them for strikes. A really good ratio, but just the 4 strikeouts to 2 walks. Mentioning he's got the most strikeouts in the league coming into play tonight with just 7 walks. Overall, not a big margin in between the strikeouts and walks. As you see on the 2-2 pitch, not sure if it was a straight steal or if it was a hit and run. Either way, we'll have to do it all over again as this one's into the netting.
I'd say it was most likely a hit and run call. You saw Craig kind of taking some steps on a secondary lead earlier in this at-bat, kind of faking the steal a few times, but for the first time in this at-bat does maybe an attempt to steal, but could have been a hit and run.
It's just one of those situations where I feel like the opposition, I mean, of course we know as broadcasters, looking at the stats and everything like that, I'm not sure how much goes into play in terms of the pitchers focusing on how many stolen bases each guys have. In a league like this where, you know, you try and focus solely on the big numbers, but, I mean, for a guy to have that much speed, there he goes. The pitch misses the throw. It's right there, but just enough speed from Alec Craig gets him, count it, his 10th stolen base of the season. And more importantly, it's more than just a pitcher, ladies and gentlemen. He's an athlete, as his catcher and battery mate Jimmy Latona with a big shout at him after that play with the confidence in his pitcher, loving what he's seeing there from his teammate, as not an easy out either, as he retires Sonny Cortese, the man with the best batting average in all of the league.
And we've seen Stockton make a few good defensive plays, but both defenses are really backing their starting pitchers tonight, and that's something that you look for in a pitcher's duel. We have seen multiple runners in scoring position, but thanks to good defensive plays, no runs have scored so far. You got to have defense in a pitcher's duel like this one.
So Cortez with the ground out back up the middle. This pitch inside on Polshan, good for ball one. Polshan on the night, 1 for 2 with the single. It almost drove in the first run of this game. And Ryan Kemp, when he was thrown out at home, we did not know at the time how important that play was going to be here in this scoreless affair, as on the 88-mile-an-hour fastball, Polshan pulls it foul down that third baseline. It's 1-1.
Now, that was one of those 1-0 counts for Stockton. Like you mentioned, Rich, he had that 500 batting average against in those 1-0 counts. That's probably when the ball is put in play, but still a good pitch there to Polshan, coming off the Player of the Week, going 6 for 13 with 4 runs batted in this past week.
He shakes off Latona once. Let's see what he goes with. There's the changeup on that 1-1. Polshan well out in front of it. And if I'm Stockton, I might be going back to that exact same pitch right there, because even if you give up contact with how slow it is compared to your fastball, you already saw Polshan early on the fastball when he hit it down the left field line. Worst case scenario, you see another hard hit ball in foul territory. In the end, you get what you want. The 1-2 from Stockton. And there it is, right on cue. It's like I've seen this happen before. There it is.
Yeah, the first changeup was kind of on the inside corner. That one was maybe left a little bit over the heart of the plate, more than he would have liked. I kind of would like to see him maybe go outside, maybe something in the dirt. He's got a few pitches to give on the 1-2 count.
Maybe even a fastball with some sweet chin music up
Sure.
and in that top quadrant of the strike zone even. Keep it in the zone, but in a spot where Polshan might not be able to get his hands around on it. He's got the 2 home runs on the year, looking to deliver with the runner on third and 2 outs, but he won't do it. Stockton gets the swing and the miss on the slider, which he has barely thrown tonight. Gets it done. Second strikeout of the day for Polshan. Second strikeout of the inning for Stockton. And the leadoff single and stolen base go unscathed there for Alec Craig. We head to the home half of the 6th. 8-9-1 coming up for Utica. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We head to the home half of the 6th. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel back with you. It'll be Bonneke, Guzman, Curry. 8-9-1 hitters due up for the 13-8 Utica Unicorns, who are 2-5 in their last 7. Their leadoff batter of the inning, Bonneke trying to get on, but not because of Ryan Dobson at shortstop. The backhand grab and then the turn off across the body to retire the speedster. Bonneke for out number 1 tonight has been dominated by pitching and defense.
And that looks just like a traditional play, but Ryan Dobson just makes it look easy. That's a very tough play for the shortstop. Has to range to the backhand. Got to watch the ball into the glove. Textbook play right there for out number 1.
So Bonneke down on the first try of the inning here as Guzman stands in, fouls off the first opportunity he sees in this plate appearance. 0 for 1 with the pop out to first on a 2-2 count that ended the third inning. And how about this? Matt Cronin with facing the minimum in, count 'em, 4 out of 5 innings. The only inning he did not retire the side in order was in the 4th when that 2-out double from Dan Elliott came into play as Guzman quickly down 0-2. Cronin looking for strikeout number 5. Won't get it here as the slider misses away at 79.
And Cronin's been going to that slider quite a bit. The 4-seam and the slider have been his 2 main pitches. He's only got 3. The other one is the 2-seam. But we've seen Cronin use the slider inside and outside. He's got the ability to throw it wherever he wants.
This one taken for a ride out into left center. Will Johnson on the run is going to make the catch. Good knock there by Guzman. Hit on the line, just not enough into the gap as Will Johnson makes the catch on the run for out number 2. Back to the top of the order we go in Coley Curry, the man who's got 1 out of the 2 hits tonight.
Yeah, Curry came into the game hitting just .239, so it definitely is interesting to see him in the leadoff spot, but he's coming off a good game in the non-public contest on Tuesday and also leads the team with 4 doubles.
So Curry really making a name for himself as we see him now at the top of the order here for Utica. They really haven't had a, solidified lineup, if you will, as that slider with a lot of movement, just not where he wanted it to end up in Cronin, but overall, Curry could very well find himself at the top of this lineup if he can consistently continue to get on base. Right on cue, second single of the evening for Coley as he was put out on the very next pitch when he got that single back in the first inning when Josh Goulet grounded out into the 6-4-3 double play.
Goulet since then did have the deep fly out into right field back in that 4th inning and chased Javon Shelby all the way back to the track, but early in this at bat, as no pitches have been thrown, the outfielders are shading in as Brian Kluppy, the assistant coach for the Mammoths, more of a pitching coach type rather than hitting, goes to the mound for a meeting as well as the infield. And I believe that's Thomas Muratori trotting out to the pen.
So Muratori going to go out there, start to loosen up a bit. Brian Kluppy, of course, the former manager of the Bakersfield Train Robbers, one of the youngest managers in all of professional baseball at that time, is he now is going to be behind Mark Wiedemeyer as his right-hand man this year. And even though they got off to the slow start, I believe they were right around like 3-10 at some point this season. But, man, have they turned it around. Mentioned 6 straight games they have won, and in that span, they have outscored their opponents 44-23. They are just on absolute fire here in these last couple of weekends as they try to continue that. But it looks like it's going to be a little bit tougher of a night to try and get that 7th straight win, as Stockton has been absolutely lethal. But for the most part, just a little bit better has been Cronin. Allowed the 1 less hit coming into this inning, but now both even with 3 hits allowed between the 2 of them. As the 1-0 to Goulet hit into left center field. It's a big fly, but it's not going to be deep enough, as underneath it is Sonny Cortese. Makes the catch for the 3rd and final out. Goulet is retired via the 2nd straight flyout. We are scoreless as we head to the 7th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We are through 6 innings at the ballpark on this Thursday night, and we have yet to see a run come in. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you as we don't see a base knock, but we see almost a knockout as Dan Williams swings and the bat flying out of his hands, but thankfully protective netting all around the home plate area, something that's been obviously a cause of concern at the major league level as of late. Having some teams extend that netting as far as the eye can see.
That's right.
And for good reason. Of course, the fan-first atmosphere here at Jimmy John's Field protecting these fans as Williams gets back at it on the night, 0 for 2 with a swing and miss strikeout and a fly out to center. The 0-1 right up into the netting towards me here in the box. And now he's down 0-2 quickly. For the third consecutive time, his former teammate has got him down 0-2.
Yeah, Williams kind of in a sophomore slump. He's only hitting 174 this year, coming off a great season last year with the Unicorns where he hit .314 with 5 home runs over just 26 games. So one of the main offensive producers last year for the team. But since moving over to the Mammoths, he's really struggled.
Yeah, sort of a tale of two ends. He's also kind of battling a little bit of health issues in terms of trying to stay healthy. I know he had, I think it was a hammy or a quad issue earlier on this year, but you can tell it's definitely getting to him. As Stockton, he is cruising here right now. 7th strikeout of the day, and in total, taking a quick look, outside of the single from Alec Craig in the 6th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 out of the last 13 retired. Incredible stuff here from Spencer Stockton as Will Johnson, one of the up-and-coming stars here at the USPBL, and that's what you're going to get when you're on a little bit of a hot streak. A first-pitch breaking ball there from Stockton, good for called strike 1. And then this pitch missing high and away at 85. Not sure what that was because there wasn't really much tailing action to it. Didn't look like the changeup. And obviously the fastball, unless it's going down a lot here, is this one. At 87, looks like it's going to stay fair. Not an easy play for Joe Campagna, but a really good scoop there from Rideout. He's been money over there at that first base bag tonight, but it looks like Johnson is going to reach on the infield single on a bang-bang play for the first time tonight, going in favor of the base runner.
Yeah, definitely a tough play for Campagna to make it third base, but a big credit to Johnson, I should say, for running that one out. It was a ball that we couldn't really tell if it was fair or foul initially, but Johnson was hustling all the way, earns himself the infield single, just the 4th hit for the Mammoths.
So here comes Javon Shelby, 0 for 2 on the night with a strikeout and then a ground out to short. It's a really good play by Adrian Guzman that was sort of in that hole in between him and Campagna, but he went across the body and got that bang-bang play that retired Shelby back in that 5th inning when he started it out with the ground out. But for the first time tonight, up at the plate with at least a base runner on. Haven't said that a lot this evening. Is Stockton on the 0-1. The fastball in enough on the hands for Shelby to not do anything with it. And that's not an easy thing to say for a guy who was drafted out of high school.
Yeah, it really is. And we also know Stockton's definitely not the hardest throwing pitcher. We do see the velocity continue to decrease. We were talking about that pitch that came in at 85. Didn't seem to have a lot of movement. It could have been the two-seamer. It could have been the cutter. Stockton maybe trying to mix it up a little bit more as his start continues. Maybe his control and velocity both fading slightly.
The former Oakland Athletics draftee trying to hold back on that 0-2, and he does just in time as the count now at 1-2. Right now, this is the longest at-bat Shelby's had thus far tonight. On the strikeout in the 2nd, he went down on 4 straight strikes, had 1 foul ball on an 0-2 count, and then on the first pitch, he grounded out to short back in that 5th. We'll see what he can do here still down in this one. The 1-2 from Stockton. Fastball at 87 misses in the dirt, but you like the effort, like the try, as he was looking for a swing and a miss, but a better eye there from Shelby as he asked home plate umpire Sal Giacomontonio for the count, as it is in fact 2-2. Maybe a little hit and run action here with Johnson over there on first. Doesn't have a lot of stolen bases on the year, but you never know, as this one in the dirt. Good job from Latona to keep that one in the area and, most importantly, not allow the base runner to get into scoring position.
Yeah, this is a good at-bat here for Shelby. The Mammoths had some really good at-bats back in the first inning and almost scored. But kind of since then they have been free swinging. As you mentioned, a lot of the batters retired in a row here, but he won't retire Shelby first and second now. But that's a great at-bat there for Javon Shelby. The Mammoths kind of need to wear him down at this point, as we might see some action to start in this Utica bullpen. Nothing as of now, but you saw Jimmy Latona go out there, kind of talk to Stockton. He might only have a few more batters left, but Jim Messian would like him to finish this inning, and we're going to actually see a pinch hitter here. Jake Barbie is coming off the 0 for 4 night, or I should say day, yesterday against the Hoppers. Barbie comes in third in the league in RBIs, so he'll be pinch hitting here for Jackson Smith, who was 0 for 2.
Just the second time tonight that Spencer Stockton has allowed back-to-back batters to reach base safely, whether it's a hit, a walk, you name it. The only other time that's happened tonight was when Ryan Dobson had the one-out single back in the third, and then Craig walked on 5 pitches. But the best opportunity we've seen so far in the entire battle for either team is Smith's replacement, Barbie, as Smith finishes his night 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. We were wondering why Barbie had not gotten the start. You said he was 0 for his last 4, but he's been hot for the most part as of late. Is that batting average right around 280, as he's got 19 hits so far this season. As keeping tabs on the base runner, Will Johnson at second, is Guzman the shortstop, as he was trying the daylight play there with Stockton, but he does not come through with it. Barbie, the 0-1, ready for it. Change up at 83, misses by a hair outside.
And a lot of his hits are doubles, too. He's tied with Jack Horanic for the league lead in doubles with 6. So he has that extra base power, an upgraded bat here. It's a tough call, especially replacing your catcher at this point in the game, so that could be the end for Matt Cronin. You never know there. But that's a gutsy call by Mark Wiedemeyer to pinch hit here in the 7th.
Not a soul getting loose in that right field bullpen at the moment, so it looks as if it is Cronin's inning when we get back to it in the 7th. He's at just 68 pitches through 6. As this one over to the right side might be a tough play for 2, so instead Bonneke goes over there to retire Barbie via the 4-3 putout for out number 2. Smart play there from Kyle, as runners do move to second and third, but if he tried to go for the runner at second there, it could have been a lot uglier of a situation for Utica.
Yeah, that's definitely the smart play by Bonneke, a veteran move right there. So the runners do advance into scoring position. A tough spot here. It'll be Ryan Dobson, who has kind of had a hot bat lately. 1 for 2 today, and coming off the 2-hit game yesterday against the Hoppers. It was a 7-6 win for them. But with one swing of the bat, Dobson could make it either a 2 or 3-0 game. Probably looking for a single, not known for his power. He doesn't have any home runs this year. Most of his hits are singles, and that's all it would take to make it 2-0.
And this is where it really turns into a chess match. This is a big-time managerial decision. Stockton on the first pitch. Dobson hits a chopper over to third, and he's going to get out of the jam. Stockton was right around 100 pitches there, and it was a big-time call to not bring in Sam Cottingham-Beard, who had a fresh arm in the bullpen, but they stick with their starter. Stockton, for the most part, most likely done, as he, for the most part, will end his day with a tremendous line. We'll give it to you when we come back, if that is, in fact, his day. But we head to the home half of the 7th. It's stretch time at Jimmy John's Field. We're scoreless. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We head to the home half of the 7th. Matt Cronin's night continuing. Here is he'll throw a slider to Dan Elliott, the 3-hole hitter for Utica, as it's him, Latona right out. A tough inning for the starter Cronin to get through here, and this will most likely be his night. Depending on the results of this inning is going to result in the win or the loss, I'm guessing, or of course the no decision. But a very, very tough battle here against Elliott, Latona, and right out to start this frame, as he's got Elliott on the 1-0. Foul ball out of play, the 1-1. Outside corner, 87 looked good. Jake Barbie with the try the frame as he, of course, entered for Smith at the plate in the top of the inning. Of course, now doing the catching behind home plate is the 2-1 to Elliott. Slider misses outside, so we've seen back-to-back pitches missed by just a hair. A really good at-bat so far for Dan Elliott, who's coming off of that double with 2 outs in the 4th. Good hitters count. Won't get it here is this one. The 5th pitch, ball 4. Second time Elliott's reached in 3 plate appearances, but most importantly, lead-off walks, as they usually come back to haunt you. First walk allotted today here by Mr. Cronin.
In Cronin's first outing, he did walk 2 batters over 6 innings, but obviously the walk hasn't played a factor up until this point. And it's definitely interesting to see Jake Barbie now behind the plate, as he did replace Jackson Smith, as you mentioned, Rich. But it's got to be different. You know, you're going out there, you're in the 6th inning, you're throwing to Jackson Smith. Now you're in the 7th, you're throwing to a whole other catcher. I mean, it could throw you off a little bit mentally.
Just by a bit. This one, though, popped up. Looks like it's got enough to stay in the park. Pulshan kind of backtracking to it, but it's going to be Craig, who rightly so makes the call over his first baseman to get the tough out in Jimmy Latona for the pop-out. Tough night for the New York native, as he's now 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a ground out, and a pop-out, as coming up to the plate now is Rideout, 0 for 2 with a pair of ground outs, once to the pitcher Cronin and then once to the second baseman Craig. So if you're a player up the middle, got to be ready for anything here against Rideout, who loves to drive that ball back up the middle. And courtesy of him tied for 3rd coming in tonight with those 23 hits, but 0 for 2 so far, as the slider at 81 misses low and away.
And there's a high chance that he's going to make contact, too. You could try to roll a double play ball here, as Rideout only has 2 walks entering this game. So he's got the pretty high batting average coming in at 280, but just the 306 on base percentage. If you can get something low enough in the strike zone, whether it's the slider, get him to roll over it, could be tough for Cronin, as he's kind of working deep into this outing. Slider's definitely a tough pitch to throw to left-handed hitters, but we've seen him tie up Coley Curry, a lefty, throwing a slider on the inside part of the zone. That could be the pitch that he could go to here. You never know.
Rideout does have 2 stolen bases on 2 attempts this year, so you know the speed is there. So the ground ball, if you're trying to get 2, definitely has to be hit fairly hard. Not a tough out to get Elliott with his amount of speed over there on first, but of course it's not the lead runner that you worry about when it comes to double plays. As the 2-1, you saw Rideout kind of lunge after that pitch. He got under it a bit, and it goes out of play over the netting. Good situation here for Cronin. Try everything in my power to get him to roll over a slider on the ground, or maybe beat him with the fastball all on your own. He's got just the 4 strikeouts, but in total just the 3 hits allowed. As we sit here in the 7th, there's the backdoor slider. It's taken for a ride out into left center. Sonny Cortese with a lot of speed. Does he make the catch? Running into the wall. Yes, he does. Sonny Cortese, can they get the double play? Yes, they do. An inning-ending double play. Sonny Cortese with a play for the ages, as the Mammoths retire the Unicorns here in the 7th with a bunch of unbelievably there's no words for it. We remain scoreless. We go to the 8th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We are through 7 here at the ballpark. As if you are just joining us or if you missed a second of this one recently, Sonny Cortese made a play that you very well could see on SportsCenter later tonight. A deep gap shot off the bat. A Colin Rideout ended up being caught on the run. Sonny Cortese made the catch right before he made contact with that left field wall and then managed to throw the ball into the field where Craig cut it off right near second base and then doubled off the base runner Dan Elliott at first for one of the best plays that I have ever seen at Jimmy John's Field, and that's coming from someone who was an intern year one and then has been pretty much full-time since. That was one of the best athletic plays I've ever seen on a ball diamond as we try to corral ourselves here into this 8th inning. The day is done for Spencer Stockton. Got to give credit where it's due. Stockton in total 102 pitches on the night, 7 innings. He allows no earned runs on just 4 hits, just 3 walks to 7 strikeouts. One of the better starts we've seen from him this year, as Alec Craig, one of the toughest outs in the USPBL to date, hits a hard comebacker at Sam Cottingham Beard, the new name in there on the bump for Utica. And he makes a play before we can even introduce his name. That's kind of how we had to play some catch-up with everything that happened there in between those innings.
All right, Cottingham Beard now in his 2nd season in the USPBL. He had a 5.28 ERA last year, over 15 1/3 innings, but has had a better season so far this year. 3.77 ERA and 11 relief appearances, which is the most on the Unicorns of any of their pitchers. But Cottingham Beard has gone 14 1/3. 10 hits, just 6 earned runs, 3 walks, and 14 strikeouts. So another good strikeout-to-walk ratio. And I don't know if you saw it, Rich, as you were kind of tallying up that final line for Stockton, but I don't know if it's a two-seamer or a changeup, but it's movement that we're seeing on one of Cottingham Beard's pitches that's actually breaking to the left on our vantage point out of his hand. So traditionally, from a right-handed pitcher, you'll see stuff break to the right, but this has a lot of bite. It would be inside on the right-handed hitter, so we'll look for that pitch to be thrown a few more times by Cottingham Beard maybe in his outing here.
The 2-0 in on the hands on Kemp. Had that little bit of tailing action on that pitch. Not a ton, but enough as Kemp is retired via the 6-3 putout. Quickly 2 ground outs to start Sam Cottingham Beard's night. A good compliment to the start there from Spencer Stockton.
Yeah, and it really is, and this is tough too. Facing the top of the order. Based on the pitch count, Stockton definitely could not have thrown another inning, but also you don't want to face guys for the 4th time around. This is a smart move here to go to probably your most reliable reliever this season in Cottingham Beard, who comes in with the most appearances, retires 2 very tough hitters, face another tough one here.
Cortez, first pitch shows bunt, pulls back. That one missed the zone low as the count goes to 1-0 on Cortez. Tough night for him, 0 for 3. Don't say that all too often. He's got 2 ground outs to first, as well as a ground out to the pitcher, as on the 1-0, he hits one foul down that right field line into the patio area. Count even at 1-1. Mentioned Cortez, that .395 batting average coming into play today. First in all of the league is this one. Over to the right side, Colin Rideout gets 8 up by that one, as not sure how they're going to mark this one in the books. Either way, the 2-out base runner is on for Westside, as you can see it kind of from both vantage points. Yes, it's a play Rideout's supposed to make, but to the human eye, you saw that one kind of take a weird bounce a couple of times before it got to him, but in the end, a play that has to be made. They mark it the E3, as here comes Jake Polshan, not an easy out. And we'll see if that error committed by Rideout comes back to haunt Utica on this one.
And Polston had that hit back in the 1st inning. Ryan Kemp was cut down at the plate, which did retire to the side. But since then, Polston has gone down via the look and the swing. Strikeouts both from Spencer Stockton, who finished with 7. But Polston, as we mentioned, the USPBL Player of the Week last week, coming off a great week, 6 for 13 with a .769 slugging percentage.
This one, a close play at second, as Cortez gets in there with the stolen base. In total on the season for Sonny, he's now 8 of 9, as now a runner in scoring position, but most importantly, Polshan ahead in the count, 2-0. You don't want to get behind anybody, but especially against the USPBL reigning player of the week. There is that base open on first, but it looks as if Cottingham Beard's going to go after him here.
And Polshan's only hit tonight was to the left side. Cottingham Beer definitely has more velocity than Spencer Stockton, so maybe Polshan will look to go to the opposite field in this at-bat, but takes a perfect strike right on that outside corner, the fastball.
So he looks at 4 straight pitches, something that you don't really expect to see out of a guy who's batting .361 on the year, but those last 2 looked really good from up here. Not sure what Polshan was waiting for. Maybe he was expecting to get walked. As you see, Cortese taking the try there on third base on the steal attempt, but Polshan puts it into play and flares it out to the right fielder, Donovan Smith, for the third and final out. The error does not go unscathed here in this 8th. We head to the home half. It is still scoreless. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. We go into the bottom of the 8th, and unfortunately we will not see a starter go into an 8th frame yet this season, as we had seen a lot of pitchers go 7 innings, but no one through 8 innings so far this year, as Cronin does end his day through 7 as quickly. Joe Campagna, first pitch swinging, grounds out over there to the shortstop, Ryan Dobson, on 1 pitch. So 1 up, 1 down for the new arm out there on the bump. That's Thomas Muratori, but quickly, Matt Cronin, 79 pitches through 7 innings of work, just 3 hits, of course, no runs allowed. In those 7 innings, he had just 1 walk, had 4 strikeouts. Overall, a superb job there from the starter, Cronin, and he now gives way to Muratori, who's already got the 1 out, and drops in that breaking ball to Donovan Smith for called strike 1.
And Muratori enters this appearance here with the lowest ERA among all qualifiers on the Westside Woolly Mammoths, who actually have the league best 4.46 ERA now. And it looks like maybe time was called by the first base umpire there, so I'm not sure if that pitch is going to be official. It would have been strike 2, but it looks like there was a ball in play from the bullpen. But going back to Muratori, the 2.48 ERA, a 1-2 record, and 12 appearances, 3 of them are starts. He really has been used primarily as a reliever towards this midpoint of the season, but 29 innings pitched, which is a Westside Woolly Mammoths team best, 28 hits, just 8 earned runs, 10 walks to 27 strikeouts, and only 2 extra base hits given up. both of them were doubles. Muratori has been perhaps the best pitcher on this team.
As you see it evident right there, Donovan Smith, we've seen him swing and miss a lot on these off-speed pitches so far tonight, trying to avoid his second strikeout of the evening. He also popped out to the catcher back in the 5th inning that ended it. Muratori looking for strikeout number 1 on the night, and he won't get it here. This breaking ball more in on the hands. A good job there from Smith to make contact and stay alive for at least one more.
That breaking ball's got really good bite to it. We really haven't seen too many curveballs thrown from either pitching staff tonight. We've seen a lot of sliders and changeups, so hitters are going to be seeing some different things, and that's not good news for them. Only 7 hits combined between the two teams, and we're here in the 8th.
Yeah, we need a run at some point, believe it or not, to get a victor, as this one looked to be the changeup as it misses outside. The count now 1-2 on Smith. He was down in the count 1-2 when he struck out in the 3rd. He was ahead in the count 2-1 when he popped out to the catcher. We'll see the story here in his first plate appearance against Muratori. Fastball misses inside. It's now 2-2.
Smith was added in that college senior showcase. He attended North Carolina A&T State University. And this past season, he hit .279, 7 home runs, and a very solid .343 on base. Played 4 years of D1 ball over there at North Carolina A&T.
This one chopped over there to the shortstop, Dobson, looking to make his second consecutive play, and does. That kind of hop as it made its way from the infield grass to the infield dirt. Rose up and went right to his mitt. Easy play for Dobson as Donovan Smith starts and possibly ends his day 0 for 3. Bonneke, meanwhile, trying to change that narrative as he's 0 for 2 with a line out to first and a ground out to short.
And that's kind of how it's been for this Unicorns lineup. They did threaten in that 4th inning as Dan Elliott wasn't scoring position. Bonneke deep into right field.
Javon Shelby trying to run it down. He cannot, as Bonneke does have a lot of wheels on the base pass, but will get in there to second, standing up with the 2-out double. Big-time hit there for him, as we, of course, now will have Adrian Guzman standing up at the plate with that .289 batting average, best on Utica's roster coming into play today, not counting Donovan Smith since he had batted in just 6 games thus far.
And I was just talking about that 4th inning, really the only time that the Unicorns had threatened. Dan Elliott hit a double with 2 outs. Latona ended up grounding out to shortstop to end that inning. But Bonneke reaches on the double here with 2 outs. We'll see if Guzman can change the story here for the Unicorns looking for that first run.
Guzman looking for fastball on that first pitch without a doubt. That one a gnarly breaking ball there from the right-hander as Muratori gets the sign from his catcher, Jake Barbie. Here it comes. Fastball chopped over to the left side, the third baseman. And that is Mr. Kemp. Makes the play for the 5-3 putout as Bonneke almost ran into an out. Fortunate for him, there was 2 outs on the board, so Kemp was thinking first all the way, and the 2-out double from Bonneke goes unscathed. We head to the 9th, scoreless. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. head to the top of the ninth inning. We might start this one off with a game-changing home run, and yes, we will. Dan Williams, the former Unicorn, taking advantage of his former teammate. Dan Williams with home run number 1 as a Westside Woolly Mammoths, and the Mammoths take the 1-0 lead here in the ninth.
And how about that? He was all over that first pitch fastball. Dan Williams not wasting any time. He came into that at bat 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts, but turns things around, puts his team on the board. Finally, something up on the scoreboard in the run column.
So for the pitcher's duel that we have had, Dan Williams, the difference maker here in this top of the ninth inning. He was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a fly out to center. On the first pitch of the at-bat, he takes it for a ride against Sam Cottingham-Beard as the Mammoths looking for their 7th straight victory. The former Unicorn upending his team as they're looking to go now 7 in a row as they are 9-11 on this season. What a turnaround Mark Wiedemeyer has made with this team with the late additions as Jimmy Latona was ready to ring up Will Johnson for called strike 3.
He was about to throw it down to Joe Campagna at third for the throw around after the strikeout, but did not get the call. Look out for Will Johnson. He's already got 2 home runs. Not many games played for the Mammoths. As I take a look, Will Johnson is playing now in his 8th game. Comes in hitting .355. And tonight, Johnson does have the infield single, one of just 5 hits for the Mammoths, but they are ahead now 1-0.
The 1-2 to Johnson. Hard ground ball hit there to Guzman. The ground out is recorded. Second ground out to the left side of the infield for Johnson on the night. He has, for the most part, stayed on that pull track so far tonight. A ground out to third, a fly out to left, the single in between the 5 and 6 hole, and now the ground out to short as it'll be Javon Shelby standing in 0 for 2 with a strikeout and the ground out before the walk on the full count just 2 innings ago. Trying to get a rally started back up here for Westside in what has been a tremendous baseball game.
Really
Such
has.
great pitching. You have the home run to break up the no-no, or excuse me, not the no-no, but the 0-0 ball game in the top of the final frame. Tremendous stuff here so far tonight as the pitch to Shelby misses outside. The count evens at 1-1.
And it's definitely going to be interesting in the home half with 1, 2, and 3. Curry, Goulet, and Elliott due up. So already a great ball game. Things could get even more interesting in the bottom half of the ninth. 2-1 count as there was an appeal down to first on the swing, but the infield umpire said no swing for Shelby.
The 2-1 to Javon. Off-speed pitch at 83. Fouled off into the protective netting. Sam Cottingham-Beard, the right-hander, out of Western Illinois University in his 2nd season with Utica, coming into play tonight, having, like you mentioned earlier there, Leo, overall on the season, the 3.77 ERA with the 2-0 record, but in line for the loss tonight is Shelby. Swings and misses through the 5th pitch of the AB. Second strikeout for him tonight. He'll most likely start his night as he ends it with the swing and the miss K. And here comes Jake Barbie on the night 0 for 1 with the ground out to second when he entered for Jackson Smith back in the 7th frame.
And you see, since that first pitch fastball that Dan Williams turned around into right field over the wall, Cottingham-Beard is relying heavily on his off-speed stuff. So if you're Barbie, heck, your team's up 1-0, I'd look off-speed on this first pitch. Look at that, fastball right on the outside corner.
That's why you're up here and they're
right.
down there, as I often say that myself, Leo. It's okay.
Got to mix it up as a pitcher out there, especially with the way that the night has gone just for the hitters overall. Not much happening for them. It doesn't really matter what the approach has been, whether you're taking, working full into counts, or swinging at the first pitch. Nothing has really worked unless your name is Dan Williams with the solo shot.
The 1-1 to Barbie, well outside, well in the dirt. And at the moment, I see not a soul getting loose in that right field bullpen, which means Thomas Muratori will be in line for not the save, but the victory.
That's right.
In this one. Barbie ready for the 2-1. Good hitters count. Be ready for that fastball. Instead, changeup, of course, at 81. And there we go, Leo. That's, again, why we're up here.
Exactly, and that's that changeup once again. We've seen it quite a few times. It's got that really good tailing action. Pretty much an impossible pitch to hit if you're a left-handed hitter, unless you're guessing changeup low and away. That ball is breaking away for you as a left-handed hitter.
This one, a big fly ball, as Barbie was looking for his second home run of the season. Instead, Donovan Smith makes the catch for the third and final out, but the former Unicorn, Dan Williams, taking advantage of his old squad as the Mammoths take the 1-0 lead. We head to the home half of the ninth. Top of the order, due up for the Corns. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. To the bottom of the ninth inning we go. Out there for his second inning of work is the right-hander Thomas Muratori. Drops in the lethal 71, yes, 71 mile-an-hour breaking ball to start off. Coley Curry, the leadoff man for the Corns, as he was originally slotted to play center field coming into play tonight, but he's battling just a little bit of soreness, so they're going to keep him at the DH, and it, at the moment, looks like it's proved pivotal. He's 2 for 3. But this is where you really need your leadoff man to shine, as you're down now for the first time all night after you had been tied through the first 8 innings. But your man at the top of the order has to come through now as he's down 0-2. Muratori, the kick, the push in the dirt. Good eye there from Curry to stay alive. It's 1-2. Mentioned Tuesday in that non-public game, 2 for 3 with the home run and the double. They could use a home run here as he's got just the one so far on his 16 hits.
And 3 straight breaking balls to him, so see what Muratori goes with here.
The 1-2. This one, fastball at 88, a little bit in on the hands, but not enough, as Curry does make contact into the protective netting. It remains 1-2. Such a critical situation for Utica. 0-0, 90% of this game. You give up the lead on the solo shot. You got to come back and get the leadoff man on to put some type of threat to start the home half. Breaking ball, chopped over to the right side. Polshan quickly reacting to it. Retires Curry unassisted for out number 1, and that is a huge out for Thomas Muratori and Westside.
And for the most part, Cronin and Muratori have limited the top of this lineup. Coley Curry did have the 2 hits. Dan Elliott has the double. Goulet comes into this at bat 0 for 3. couple of good swings for him. He did have the deep fly out into right field that Javon Shelby made a great play on, but Goulet already with the 1 home run this season. It was the home run last week that went over the Chevy Pavilion in left field, but otherwise Goulet hasn't done anything. He's 1 for 7 entering the game, so 1 for 10 overall after his 0 for 3 night so far.
Fortunately for him, the one hit of the year, it's been a solo shot. So he's driven in the run, and boy, do the Unicorns need him to come through here. 0 for 3 with a ground out that turned into 2, a fly out to right and a fly out to center. The 2-0. Fastball misses upstairs, so here you see a situation, Muratori missing with 3 straight after throwing a majority of strikes to Coley Curry. Got to be careful here with Goulet. He's ahead in the count 3-0. He's not the last out of the night. And then you got Elliott, Latona, and Rideout coming up behind him. Big timeout you need here. And especially you don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt and give him 4 straight out of the zone. Instead he does so, and the 1-out walk gives the Unicorns life here in this home half of the 9th inning as Dobson goes over to talk to his reliever.
And that's tough here, and Dan Elliott, who has had a pretty good game so far, 1 for 2 with the double and the walk. Definitely a big threat up at the plate, a lot of power, as we now see Mark Wiedemeyer, the manager of the Woolly Mammoths, strolling out. Infield coming in for the mound visit. Might see some action now in the bullpen. In fact, we do.
Wow.
As a left-hander starting to get loose.
And that'll do it. So we did not see a lot of action in that bullpen, so whoever is coming in is going to have to warm up more out on the field than in the bullpen. It's going to be Jake Davis, who I believe did pitch in that non-public game yesterday. So we'll take a quick break, give you Muratori's final line, tell you about Davis, and we'll be right back here with 1 runner on. Tying run on the base pass here for Utica with 1 out. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland, Leo Ortel with you. It has been a tremendous baseball game. Mammoths with the solo shot from the former Unicorn, Dan Williams, in the top of the 9th. And the day's done for Thomas Muratori. He goes the inning and a third in relief from the starter Cronin. Gives up no runs on the 1 hit. Did walk a batter, and that's Josh Goulet over at first, who, of course, Muratori is in charge of that base runner. This one shouldn't have gotten away from, but it does. This one's going to go down in the books as a passed ball. Jake Barbie could not squeeze onto that one, and we'll see if that one proves pivotal. The double play out of contention now, at least the conventional way, as Elliott looks at ball one to begin this at bat. Or excuse me, the count evens at 1-1 there, as we get our correction from our home plate umpire, Sal Giacomontonio. But Jake Davis trying to get the save here, the Cypress, Texas native, on the 1-1. This one flared into left. Underneath it is Will Johnson, kind of trying to find it as the sun has completely gone down now, but he does make the catch for out number 2, and what an out it is, as the Unicorns down to their final out, but man of the hour, man of the year for Utica standing in, and Jimmy Latona, the USPBL home run leader, had one of those on Tuesday against Birmingham Bloomfield. It was when his team was down by a run. He hit a 3-run homer in the home half of the 7th inning in a non-public affair. Can he be the hero in this public game? This one into right center, excuse me. Sonny Cortese backtracking to the track, but the Mammoths win their 10th of the season, 7th game in a row for Mark Wiedemeyer and company, as the Unicorns drop now their 6th game in their last 8, 2 polar opposite ends of the spectrums for these two teams.
And how about that? A great start on the mound for Matt Cronin. He won't get the victory. It will be Thomas Muratori who will earn the win for the Woolly Mammoths, but it doesn't matter either way. The Woolly Mammoths earn their 7th straight win. They'll move to 10-11. The Unicorns drop to 13-9, but hats off to both starting pitchers tonight. Cronin and Stockton both going 7 innings, giving up no runs, but in the end it was all just one swing of the bat that mattered. Dan Williams with the solo shot in the 8th to get things done for the Woolly Mammoths, who just seem to finding ways to win.
Thomas Muratori, the victor on the night. He was the pitcher who was in the game in the 8th. Of course, the Mammoths getting their 1 run in the top of the 9th inning. So Muratori moving to 2-2 on the season. Jake Davis getting save number 2 on the year for Westside. He is the only Mammoth with the save on the year, so he gets his 2nd. Overall, Dan Williams, the only person to drive in a run and the only person to score tonight. Outside of that, Alec Craig reached base safely twice with a walk, a single, and a stolen base. Other than that, for Westside, taking a look down the line, not one other person reached base safely twice except for Alec Craig. So Spencer Stockton, who goes 7 innings, doesn't allow any runs on just 4 hits, has his great night. Taken spotlight there by Dan Williams as he gets the solo shot in the 9th inning off of Sam Cottingham Beard. And then how about Matt Cronin on the other end of it? 7 innings, no runs on just 3 hits, only had the 1 walk accompanied with the 4 strikeouts here on this Thirsty Thursday. Thomas Muratori gets the win. Jake Davis gets the save, as we mentioned. But either way, a really, really good baseball game tonight as we take a look at the upcoming games here on the schedule. Just a 3-game weekend here at the ballpark, as of course here on Thirsty Thursday, your final 1-0 in favor of the Mammoths. And then tomorrow, Utica will be back in action in a redemption try. They'll take on the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. 7:05 your first pitch, another fireworks spectacular. Also Fat Tire Friday here at the ballpark. We hope to see you there. Both Leo and I will be back on the call with pregame at 6:50. But for my broadcasting partner, Leo Ortel, my name is Rich Borland. Mammoths win this one by a final score of 1-0 over Utica for their 7th straight victory. You have a good night, and you stay classy, Utica.